Emotional regulation is a crucial skill for children to learn. It allows them to understand their feelings. It allows them to understand their reactions and triggers to different situations. Model emotional regulation. Now, modeling emotional regulation means showing your child how to effectively manage your own emotions in a healthy way. I think it's important we don't hide our feelings from our kids. Practice mindfulness. Now, mindfulness is the practice of being present in the moment and observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. By teaching your child a range of different coping strategies, you're basically helping them build resilience and helping them develop the skills they need to manage challenging emotions effectively. Welcome back to another episode of the Warrior Academy podcast. In today's deep dive, we are going to be talking about emotional regulation. I would like to keep this episode really practical and go through 5 simple techniques to help you as a parent develop your child's emotional regulation. So I hope you enjoy this episode. As parents and caregivers, we want to help our children navigate their emotions, and we want them to do that in a healthy and productive way. Now, emotional regulation is a crucial skill for children to learn. It allows them to understand their feelings. It allows them to understand their reactions and triggers to different situations. And it's one of the most important things we can pass on to our children. It's the development of their emotional intelligence. And so one of the most effective ways to teach emotional regulation is actually by modeling it ourselves. Children learn by example, and they will be more likely to regulate their own emotions in a healthy way if they see you doing the same. So, here are 5 simple techniques that you as a parent or a caregiver can use to help children learn emotional regulation. I hope you enjoy them. The first tip is to model emotional regulation. Now, modeling emotional regulation means showing your child how to effectively manage your own emotions in a healthy way. Now, that can involve taking a step back from a situation when you feel overwhelmed. It can mean using deep breathing exercises or mindfulness techniques to calm down, or expressing your feelings in a productive way. For example, instead of getting angry and shouting, you might say and explain, "I feel frustrated right now because," and explain why you feel a certain way. I think it's important we don't hide our feelings from our kids. We let them experience what we're going through or show them what we're going through, but we also show them how we deal with our emotions in a healthy way. So children will model that. When a child sees you managing your own emotions in a healthy way, they're more likely to do the same. They'll learn that it's okay to feel strong emotions. We certainly don't want children to feel emotions and then try and hide them. Emotional repression is a cause of so many big problems nowadays. When a child learns how to manage their emotions in a way that doesn't hurt themselves or others, modeling emotional regulation can help build trust between you and your child. As they see that you are open and honest about your own emotions, they'll be more likely to help to share their own. And so that will then increase the bond between you. You can go back to the attachment theory podcast I did before and you'll see some of the links there. So it's important to note that modeling emotional regulation doesn't mean hiding your emotions or pretending that everything is always fine. It's okay to show your child that you feel sad, you feel angry, or even you feel frustrated at times. The key is to show them how to manage those emotions in a healthy way, rather than reacting impulsively or lashing out. The next tip is to practice mindfulness. Now, mindfulness is the practice of being present in the moment and observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. So it can be a really powerful tool for helping children learn emotional regulation. It allows them to become more aware of their own emotions and reactions to different situations. So a really simple way to practice mindfulness with your child is to take a few minutes each day to sit quietly and focus on your breathing. Encourage your child to notice their thoughts and their feelings without judgment and to let them pass without getting caught up in them. Notice a feeling coming in, let it pass. And this can really help your child to learn to manage their own emotions in a more productive way rather than reacting impulsively or getting overwhelmed. And so there are many different mindfulness techniques that you can try with your child depending on their age and interest. A lot of these are age specific. And so, for example, you might try guided meditations. Now, guided meditations, there are many mindfulness apps or websites, or if you're on Spotify or YouTube listening to this, just Google them and you'll find a million that offer guided meditations for children, which can help them learn to focus their attention and regulate their emotions. Another great tool or exercise is mindful coloring. So coloring can actually be a really calming and meditative activity that helps children focus on the present moment and express their emotions in a creative way. There are even adult coloring books out there. So if you're a parent who's feeling a lot of stress, maybe even give that a shot yourself, and you'll soon start to see the benefits. The other exercise is mindful breathing. So teaching your child to take deep breaths when they're feeling upset or overwhelmed, encourage them to focus on their breath and really inhale and exhale, and to let go of any distracting thoughts or feelings. That's a tool we do in the Warrior Academy a lot. In fact, we do that exercise every single class, and it really helps our students. The next exercise is mindful movement. So activities like yoga, tai chi, or dance can help children become more aware of their bodies and their emotions. Encourage your child to move in a way that feels good to them, and to pay attention to how different movements make them feel. The next tip here is to encourage emotional expression. So encouraging emotional expression is another really important technique for helping children learn emotional regulation. When children feel comfortable about expressing their emotions in a healthy way, they are far more likely to regulate their emotions effectively and avoid suppressing them. One way of encouraging emotional expression is to create a safe and supportive environment for your child to share their feelings. Now, that can involve active listening to your child when they speak, so really being present, validating their emotions rather than dismissing their emotions, and avoiding judgment or criticism. For example, if your child's upset, you might say, "I can see that you're feeling really sad right now. Do you want to talk about what's going on?" Rather than dismissing the feeling and telling them they're fine. So it's really important to encourage your child to express their emotions in a healthy way. Now, that might involve teaching them how to use I statements to express their feelings, or helping them find a creative outlet for their emotions, such as writing or drawing or singing. By giving your child tools to express their emotions in a healthy way, what you're doing is you're empowering them to manage their emotions effectively and avoid suppressing them. Now, I just want to add in here that it's worth mentioning that emotional expression doesn't mean allowing your child to express their emotions in an uncontrolled or harmful way. Encouraging emotional expression means helping your child find healthy ways to express their emotions rather than bottling them up or lashing out. But it's really, really important to set clear boundaries and expectations for behavior while also supporting your child's emotional needs. The next tip here is to teach coping strategies. Coping strategies are a really effective way to help children learn emotional regulation. Coping strategies are techniques or behaviors that individuals use to manage stress, anxiety, and other challenging emotions. When you teach your child coping strategies, what you're doing is you're providing them with the tools they need to manage their emotions effectively. One effective coping strategy is deep breathing. Now, deep breathing can help your child feel more calm and centered, and can be done anywhere at any time. If you encourage your child to take slow, deep breaths in through the nose and exhale slowly through the mouth, you can practice deep breathing together as a family whenever you need to. It's very easy to quickly do that wherever you are. You can encourage your child to use the techniques when they feel stressed or overwhelmed with you, or even when they're on their own. Another really effective coping strategy is mindfulness. As we mentioned earlier with mindfulness, it's an exercise that involves being present in the moment and observing your thoughts and feelings without any judgment. Now, if you can teach your child mindfulness by practicing it together, just like we spoke about earlier in the episode, or by using guided meditation, apps or videos, you'll start to see the benefits quite quickly. When your child is feeling stressed or anxious, all you have to do is encourage them to take a few minutes to practice mindfulness. Once they understand the concept of mindfulness, they understand just to focus on their breathing, that will really start to calm them down. They'll understand their emotions, accept them without that feeling of shame or guilt, which is really positive. Other coping strategies may include physical activity, spending time in nature, can be really beneficial, or engaging in hobbies or activities that your child actually enjoys. By teaching your child a range of different coping strategies, you're basically helping them build resilience and helping them develop the skills they need to manage challenging emotions effectively. Now, it could be that you only need one or two of these coping strategies that your child really effectively uses. But even so, that's enough, right? If they've got something they can effectively use to cope with their emotions, that's fantastic. It's important to note that coping strategies are not a one-size-fits-all solution. So what works for one child might not work for another child. And so I would certainly trial and error a few of these strategies to find out what really works for the individual that is your child. Encourage your child to try different coping strategies and find the ones that are most effective for them. Try and measure them if you can. The next tip is to encourage emotional expression. Now, encouraging emotional expression is an important technique for helping children learn emotional regulation, because when children are allowed and encouraged to express their emotions, they learn to recognize and manage their feelings in a healthy way, rather than bottling them up or suppressing them. So one way to encourage emotional expression is to create a safe and supportive environment for your child to share their emotions. So that involves actively listening to your child when they speak, validating their emotions, and avoiding judgment or criticism. So when your child feels that they can share their emotions without fear of being judged or fear of being criticized, they are far more likely to be open and honest about how they feel. It's really important to model healthy emotional expression yourself. So that means acknowledging and expressing your own emotions in a healthy way, rather than suppressing them or lashing out. So when your child sees you expressing your emotions in a healthy way, they learn to do the same themselves. Encouraging your child to use I statements can help them express their emotions in a healthy way as well. So I statements focus on the speaker's feelings and avoid blaming or accusing others, which is a very typical trait. So for example, instead of saying, "You always ignore me," your child might say, "I feel ignored when you don't listen to me." And this approach really helps your child take ownership of their emotions and express them in a way that's less likely to be confrontational. And that's got a very net positive effect on how they regulate all of their emotions. Another way to encourage emotional expression is to help your child find creative outlets for their emotions. That might involve encouraging them to write in a journal, draw or paint, or express themselves through music or dance. Creative expression can be a healthy way for your child to explore and process their emotions without feeling like they need to bottle them up or keep them hidden. So finally, bringing us to our last point here, it's important to remember that emotional expression does not mean allowing your child to express their emotions in an uncontrolled or harmful way. Encouraging emotional expression means teaching your child healthy ways to express their emotions, such as through talking, writing, or creative expression. It's really important to set clear boundaries and expectations for behavior, while also supporting your child's emotional needs. So to bring all this to a conclusion, to summarize this episode, helping children learn emotional regulation is this ongoing process that requires patience, it requires practice, and it requires persistence. By modeling healthy emotional regulation ourselves as parents, by practicing mindfulness techniques, by using positive reinforcement and teaching coping strategies, and then encouraging emotional expression, by doing all of these things, you can really help your child develop this essential skill. So remember to be patient with your child as they learn and to celebrate their success along the way. And with time and with lots of practice, emotional regulation can become a natural and effective part of your child's emotional toolkit. And that will have a massive impact on the development of their character. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure you click subscribe so you do not miss the next one, and I'll see you next time. Take care. I really hope you enjoyed today's Warrior Academy podcast episode. We're going to keep creating these episodes because I know that so many parents find them useful or get insights or get ideas about how to develop their child's character. But it all comes down to the 3 C's: confidence, conduct, and concentration. So if you want to get a deep insight into the levels of confidence your child has, the level of concentration they have, or the level of conduct they have, so that you can actually put a score next to it and then work towards increasing those scores like we do in the Warrior Academy, then I'd love to invite you to fill in the Breakthrough Area Assessment. It takes about 5 minutes of your time, and you will get a personalized PDF report on your child's 3 C's. To access the Breakthrough Area Assessment and find out your child's 3 C's score, all you need to do is go to www.breakthrougharea.com.